Alright, a Sean Havoc review in 3 minutes. Nope, 5 minutes. I lied. 5 minutes. This is the Dead Air Ghost 45M, the modular 45 can. On the box, no quarter, dead air. The inside looks the same as the outside, except white and not perforated. Opening the box, this is going to be my first time actually seeing this can. Into the manual. Dead air, turn up the silence. That's actually kind of cool. Says Ghost M, the owner's manual. Going through this backwards, so bear with me here. Things I do for you guys. It's not full color, but at the same time, I'm fine with it. It's got actually really good pictograms of what's going on. So, Military Arms Channel did a thing on this recently. You can't buy wipes anymore without waiting, because it is a suppressor part. They used to just offer them on the website. Wipes are super helpful. They're an old technology, but they're one of those things that, in my opinion, you guys, wipes are kind of stupid. They work great for the first 20 or 30 rounds. Then again, if you're hunting or you're an assassin, you might need them. Anyways, good manual. Breaking it. Oh, shit. Well, I'm going to put that back in its foreskin right quick. And I learned my lesson after doing these reviews for you guys. There's the top half. So here is your two. I'm actually sniffing them. I can't tell if they actually smell like neoprene or if they smell, to be honest, they smell more like rubber. And I'm not saying that you should do this, and I'm not condoning this by any stretch of the imagination, but me as an SOT, I can tell you right now that if I want to keep wipes, what I will do, I'll go to Home Depot and look at the washer section and find something that's close to this, or just get a sheet of rubber, trace this, and cut them out. That's what I would do. As an SOT, you guys should definitely not do that. If you need replacement wipes, contact the company, let them know. But you get two. I'm not sure if that's standard. I actually heard from a couple of different other people that they didn't even include them in the box anymore. But I got two wipes. I'm not sure if that's what you guys are going to receive or not. Who knows? Anything under here? No, nothing left. Cool. Done with the box. Really nice laser engraved end cap tool, I think. So one of the things and one of my biggest gripes about the Silencer Co hybrid is you have 2 spanner wrenches and it builds up with carbon so quickly that they were kind of forward thinking in that respect. Because the can is not really user serviceable, but in order to take the other bits of it apart, you have to use 2 spanner wrenches, and I've already scratched the crap out of that can, unfortunately. So this looks like it's very unobtrusive, super simple, just knurled tool. Cool. Moment of truth, what you guys are all waiting for. This was inside of a plastic sleeve, but it fell out. So, inside of a plastic sleeve, inside of a suppressor sock. That's really cool. Brian, you'll appreciate this. A cigar wrap type thing. On the wrap it says silent as the grave, dead air silencers. That's pretty cool. I'm actually not even gonna rip that off. I'm going to try and preserve this, see if I can. Being very careful. Might go over my 5-minute mark. I'm trying not to. Okay, so initially I'm seeing a bit of a gap that looks like it's a little too big, like this wasn't put together right. So let's break into this as it sits. Okay, so we have, I'm gonna set that down. I can't actually get at these without the tool. This looks like, never mind, spoke too soon. So breaking the end cap off, 5 minutes later, I'll have these threads undone, but actually it's nice that they offer a lot of threads, because the more threads you have, if it was shallower threads, that carbon does work its way in there. And as that carbon works its way in there, it actually will become corroded and hard to get off. So here we have our end baffle. And they are really, really nicely machined end baffles, I might add. And you can see on the end here we have a lip where the wipe would sit, just like that. And there you go. So here's our end cap tool. This forward baffle looks important. And here, these are aluminum, undoubtedly, just because of their size, or sorry, weight. These weigh absolutely nothing. Super bright blue finish. And again, very, very nice machining. Can you guys see it? Tell me what's wrong with this picture. You see how you can see the seams, but there isn't any gap. It's an easy mistake to feel like it's locked into place, but if you look at it, it's apparent that that gap is far too big. So that's why it wasn't screwing down all the way. Make sure that your stacks look like this. So you want to make sure that when you're putting everything back together, that your stack is, ideally it would be on a table, actually. And then you would take your can, set it over it, and push everything back together. And then one thing that I will always do is stick a finger in there and the other side and twist and make sure that nothing's wiggling. So nothing's wiggling, that way I know nothing in my stack got misaligned. So I'm pushing pressure with my index finger, this one, the black hand index finger, against this. At that point, I would put this back together and let's see if that gap goes away. Because honestly, that gap was kind of ugly. And seeing that initially was like, that doesn't look too great. So that isn't going back together right, so I'm led to believe that something inside the main part of the can is actually misaligned as well. I'm willing to bet someone was tinkering with this in the store and didn't put it back together correctly. I'm going to take the Nielsen, yep, okay. I wasn't sure if that was going to work or not, but found out with you guys. This looks like it would be able to take just a spanner wrench or actually even just a normal AR castle nut wrench. So I'm willing to bet again that after I take this Nielsen device off, or booster assembly, whatever you want to call it, that one of these baffles is going to be incorrectly lined. So we have a really, really nice blast chamber. I don't know, oh, yep, I can. Okay, sweet. So you don't actually have to buy brand new Nielsen devices, you just have to buy this is actually 1/2 by 28. Someone was forward thinking and assuming that they were going to be shooting primarily 9mm out of a 45 can, and that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. So you would just buy replacements of these, which I'm actually going to get online and order after I upload this video. So this goes back together like that, and then this goes in here, and I'm assuming you're going to be able to buy blockout collars for fixed barrels and the like. So that's pretty cool. And then I'm assuming you could replace this part with, I don't know, something that would be a direct thread cap or similar. I don't need to go any further than that. You guys see that big gap on that first one right there? Let's put that back together. That was my finger popping, not the actual baffle itself. And these are a snug fit, which is good. That's a sign of good machining. So, so that's what doing it wrong looks like. That is correct. Again, wrong. Correct. Alright, so if you guys ever get turned around on a can, any good company, and Dead Air is one of them, will have their focus, there we go, serial number, I'm going to block out, very, very close to the Nielsen device or the end. So that side is your, and actually I'm going to show you this in comparison. The side that's closest to your gun is going to be the serialized portion. All good companies do that. And you'll notice, here's my serial number right here. It's protected by the blast baffle. So if this can was to explode, chances are it's going to happen after the serial number. So if you blow this thing apart, not all is lost. You can send it back to them and they can fix it for you. I'm not sure what their warranty is on that. But at least you're not completely SOL. So your baffle stack is going to go back together just like this. So making sure that all of this stays exactly as it should, I'm going to, damn it. So making sure all of this stays exactly as it should, I'm going to do it upside down. And keeping pressure on everything, push everything in until it is seated. Okay. So this main baffle that was in the front of the long configuration is going to go like that. And remember, this didn't have a keyway on it, so that doesn't really matter. So that goes together like that, and just make sure that it's seated in there. And then at this point, you would decide whether you wanted to use a wipe or not. I'm not going to. So this goes over the top of that, and it's going to keep that last baffle from walking around and getting struck. So again, holding everything vertically so nothing gets in the way of everything. And we have our assembled can. This is a damn fine looking can. And you can see on the end here, we have no exposed threads. The end cap does stick out a little bit further than I'm used to seeing. It's not a bad thing. It's just, I don't know, it's a characteristic of a modular can, I suppose. So going back to our full length configuration, here is our end baffle. And we have blue to gold. This will go back together. And let's see if that gap actually does belong there. I'm gonna guess, actually at this point I'm not really sure. But it was kind of a big gap. And now it's gone. So it was misaligned. So all of this is together. Got my finger stuck in there. Okay, so all that's together. And then our last baffle goes in. Now our end cap is going to go over that, just like on the K configuration or the short configuration. We're going to assemble all of this and snug her down. Make sure nothing rattles. That would always be bad if something rattled. So overall, as this is right now, this is a long ass 45 can. Again, this is just going to be a initial unboxing. I'm doing this with all of my suppressors. So overall, I've heard the tone of the long configuration. I honestly think that the long configuration is a little bit too long for a pistol. However, I think it would look amazing on my Vector 45. That said, I do plan on running this as a pistol can. So I'm actually going to set it in what I'm going to call my default configuration, which is going to be this right here. So in general, what I'm looking for in a can is something that is not overly large. And something that is going to be hearing safe and not add a whole bunch of weight to the front of a pistol. So as far as the wipes go, I think they're great if you plan on shooting sub-calibers through it. I think it would be great for mitigating first round pop. Okay, so what I'm learning here is if you're running the wipe, you are going to be seeing threads, is basically the long and short of it. That's snugged down. There are threads visible, the wipe's in there. If I'm being completely honest with you guys, I think they're kind of, I mean, they're dated technology. Look at this beautiful machining that we have now, and people are bitching and moaning about not being able to use neoprene wipes that were used in Mac 10s and other very obscure things like the well rod way back when. I mean, it's cool that they added them. They had that innovation of like, hey, we have this as well. But I don't think all is lost if you're using this as a 9 or a 45 can. But I think it's going to be every bit just as quiet as it would have been without it after the first few rounds anyways. So having those threads being able to actually seal and get out of the way in the front, it's worth it to me. And those baffles are beautiful. So overall, for the price tag, I'm actually really impressed with this can. I didn't ever think that I'd be buying a pistol can and thinking too fondly of it, but looking at everything and the machining, and yeah, it's a great looking can. I'm really excited to actually test this. Again, this is just going to be an unboxing. This is how all of the part ones of my suppressor videos are going to go. So call this video suppressor unboxing and review, no, suppressor unboxing and initial review part 1, the Dead Air Ghost 45M. Again, this is how I'm going to run it. So these parts are, it's a shame not to use these. These are just too damn pretty. But I'm going to put this stack back together. Hear that click? That's really, really good machining.